Welcome to another episode of Ruff Talk VR, a weekly podcast with in-depth game reviews, exclusive developer interviews, and the latest MetaQuest and virtual reality news. We join our hosts, the father-son team of D. Scruffles and Stratus today, as they spend another episode breaking down and discussing the world of virtual reality.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR, coming at you with another edition of VR news, with plenty on the agenda to talk about today. I mean, actually, it's not really the most loaded, but it'll end up being a long episode knowing us. And we have some big ones on the agenda, including Grim releasing, a new Walkabout course. So it's a fun episode.
Yeah, man. You want to start with Grim?
Mine as well. I think that's the most obvious start. Either that or Walkabout. Those are definitely our top
School
two.
Of Grimology.
So it officially launched. Grim is out in
Came out Thursday.
What they advertise as early access alpha, which I think is a smart way to put it out.
Nobody's hiding from nothing.
It's funny. It seems like that when you go to the reviews, most of the 1-star reviews, most of the complaints are about server issues, like server lag and stuff like that. I guess we were spoiled in our pre-time playing with like 4 people in this.
There's a couple episodes. I mean, we both said it. It's like, so the game's going to come out and it's like servers are going to catch fire.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's just, there's no way that it's just not in my head that it, but now that it's out and issues can get debugged or whatever Spoon does in the Matrix. Cause dude, that dude, you thought he was busy before.
Well, now he gets to play with it with
dude, and I think there's
the animals are out. They're playing
right now too. There's one of the server list is huge, but one of the servers is legit a test server.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, go in there at your own will. I mean, that's where
it says test.
Yeah, it's don't expect shit to be saved.
And I saw some streams of it of people playing, and there's a lot more cooperation than I would have thought.
Well, for now, because everyone's new.
Everyone's trying to figure it out together.
Can't go in there hating right off the get-go.
No, you got to make it fair game. You got to let people know, this is how you use 2 rocks or 2 hands to use the rock.
I was going to say, man.
Even simple stuff like that, people can get tripped up on.
It saddened me to see some of the 1-star reviews be shit because of the struggle to the point where, I mean, they're legit they're going to come out with like a tutorial type fucking intro and eventually when you go in.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be, which is weird because someone had posted in their Discord no, there's a certain excitement you have when it takes you a week to figure out basic shit and then you feel so stupid for not figuring it out sooner. So it does kind of take away from that, but it's not fair to rate something 1 star because you struggle with the fact that you need 2 hands on an object and you couldn't figure that out.
Well, Grim is more than any other game, I think, in VR, ripe for watching YouTube tutorial videos before you go in. Like there's so much room for creator videos. Yeah.
There's a handful of ones you can find for tutorials.
That's probably the best stuff.
If you go to their Discord and fire off any question, you'll get an answer. Their Discord spiked up a little bit too, which was kind of cool to see right after launch.
And so right now, as of recording on Sunday, they are at 171 total reviews on the MetaQuest, sitting at a 3.9, and a breakdown of those will be 65% of those are 5-star. And then the next handful are pretty small percentages. Then we go to 7% 4-star, 5% 3-star, 4% 2-star, and then 19% 1-star. And if you go through those 1-star, like I said, most of it is related to server stuff, which is like...
Well, server stuff and I don't know how to do shit stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 2 bulks.
Which
I haven't really seen some other shit that it's irrelevant.
Server stuff can be fixed. I mean, this is the most people that have ever been in the game. When we went in, that first night, you're like, oh my goodness, there's so many servers.
Yeah, I didn't expect there to be that many, to be honest with you.
So they
figure it would be half as many, but they got it by region, holy guacamole, but it's out. I mean, this is what it needs to be able to get to the next level because without this mass audience,
there's only one way to fix the test those servers, right? And that's to load them up. So this had to happen at some point.
Well, yeah.
So now it gets to be tightened up there. I mean, gameplay wise, it always felt good to us. Like we were like, oh, this is so. But servers is one thing. I have seen some people say feels unpolished and stuff like that. I never really had the feeling of unpolished.
Well, you got to like throw a percentage of like sort of overall ratings and stuff. There is a percentage of people that are just fucking assholes, right? I don't care what game it is. There's always that person. We've had fun calling that stuff out. So I exclude some form of percentage off of it anyways.
I wonder how much of unpolished feel people would reference would be because of server issues as well.
Well, I mean,
too, again,
if you're having glitches and like your character's glitching or something, then yeah, you're going to be like, this sucks. I get it. But knowing there's how many years did Spoonfed say? Like 10 years he wants to work on this? A decade? So, I mean, it reminds me of one of those opportunities on Steam where you can get in on something early and ride it out because you were there from the beginning versus people who are going to try to jump on the bandwagon, a year down the road or whatever. But we knew the servers would melt. There's just no way I couldn't see otherwise. I mean, you're not going to have that audience at any test level coming in.
I also think that there's a lot more layers of content to Grim than people see on the surface in terms of expanding your blueprint amount by going hunting for that type of stuff, going blueprint hunting, expanding the amount of items that you can actually craft for your base, obviously building a successful and great base. And then there's also a lot of point of interest on the map that you could easily miss just by not going exploring like that.
Well,
like,
and now you have a map.
Yeah.
So there's it's shit's right there in front of you. I actually want to commit to releasing a couple of tips every single week. Maybe a group of 5 beneficial tips. Nothing huge, just 5. Here's your 5 basic, and then we'll do 6 to 10.
Don't go here without a radiation suit.
Well, yeah, just shit people know if they're logging in for the first time. Like, hey, when you log in, you are going to... I heard people go, I can't wait to go in naked. And it's like, well, you're not going to go in naked. You're going to go in a spacesuit and...
Make sure to refill your oxygen tank every time you have a chance. Those little oxygen tank refill things that
so
are
I want to do it so it's like idiot proof. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to load in, this is what you got. This is what you're going to need, and this is where to get it.
Well, to start, this is unpolished. We didn't put time into prepping this, but just to start, you're going to load in. You have an oxygen tank that when you leave that dome is going to tick away. So outside the dome, there's these like oxygen refill things.
And chances are you're going to load in outside the dome.
Oh, a lot of times I load in inside the dome.
Yeah, I never load in inside the dome.
That's so funny. I always load in the dome.
I would be prepared for the worst, which is, and it could be nighttime.
Yeah, so if you load in and you're outside the dome, your oxygen tank is instantly ticking away. You can open up the menu, the inventory menu, and you'll see the timer of it essentially counting down. So outside the big domes, there's these big oxygen refill stations outside the doors. Any chance you get, refill those. And then my other big one would be you cannot gather resources by one hand using a rock on stone and trees and stuff. 2-hand. Blah, blah, blah. And then, because I saw somebody streaming it, and they didn't know how to build a rock, but they had 200 plus stone. Like if you open up your menu and you look on the right side, there's your crafting list. And then I recommend, get a couple of rocks because you're going to blow through them gathering a shit ton of resources. But ASAP, build the more advanced resource gathering tools like an axe and such, because that's just going to expedite your growing process. And then try to build a basic base and throw a sleeping bag down as well. That'll save you some trouble if you die. So,
fair enough.
The top tips.
All right, I'll give you one off the top tip. If you load in the game and it's nighttime,
I went very basic too.
Bring your hand up to your head and press your trigger,
yes.
And it's going to turn on your flashlight because it gets very dark at nighttime. You got the map, so just press buttons and you'll see. Boom! I see everything. There's no like huge. But when you go into the dome, mushrooms. Gather as many mushrooms as you can because you're going to need the water
and the food from them.
And to actually see, because this is like one of the questions I see a lot, to like actually see what your health is and what your water is and such, you're going to lift your hand and look at your wrist, and it's right on your wrist. And that one I struggled with when we first started playing. I'm like, I have no clue why I'm starving to death. I have no clue why I'm dehydrating or whatever, until I was like, oh shit, it's actually on my wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not ashamed to admit that I asked the question because I didn't know. So, I mean, yeah, but if we put together, how about if we each bring 5 things to the table?
Not
next
even
week?
5. I think 5. Let's do max of 5 each.
That's what I just said.
Well, you said 5 each. I don't want to commit to 5.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we do 2. Max of 5. Yeah.
Right.
Just so we can space it out
very
too.
Basic and like not all over the place. Like, because the sequence of events, like if you can give people 10 different tips from the minute they log in,
Mm-hmm.
at that point they should be already like building a base.
And
then we got to get into the fact of like, okay, so you got your base built, but what do I got to build so I don't lose my base? How can I add a friend to my base?
Well, I was even going to say, it's like if you build a base, make sure to load up some, if let's say it's basic wood, make sure to load in wood into the chest in there. Otherwise, that shit's going to degrade so fast.
Well, not your storage chest, your resource chest.
Yes, your resource chest.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's a big difference, because you might build a
storage chest.
And load the shit out of it and think that, well, this will protect my base while I'm gone because materials degrade. And honestly, if you build a wood base,
somebody's gonna destroy it.
Yeah, you can destroy it with a hammer.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a sequence of events that you need to do in order to be on the best path, and then after that, it's like be free, because you understand now enough on how to drink, how to eat, where to gather resources that for a quick grab. Good luck if it's a full server. All the metal and stuff that you can smash, all the barrels you can break on your trips outside, smart ideas with upgrading. So it just seems like a fun thing, but people have a lot of questions, and I get it because it's survival to its fittest.
I love the idea of starting basic with the tips.
Yeah, that's
building up.
Yeah. So at that point, it's like, maybe I want to know more, but you'll know about the blueprints. People are going to hear blueprints. What the hell? I don't
we didn't
understand.
really even expand on that. I just said, I
we're
referenced
just
it. We'll build
flying
into
over
that.
the cuff, but there's a lot of questions.
Yeah. So that'll be a fun little segment we do when we get the chance to gather up some tips. So
I'll have that ready for next week.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a lot to go in.
I got no problem with grim shit.
Yeah, it's cool to see it in the wild though. 3.9, that makes sense for the current early access alpha, especially with most of that, like I said, being server stuff, and that'll be.
It's funny because I think when it came out and it was holding a 4.8 for a while, it was a lot of people who
had it early access
had
and knew about it.
Yeah, and have played it and they understand it, versus the new player who might jump in and be like, holy shit,
this is too much. What's going on?
But I also knew that there would be a percentage of people too that would like either love it or hate it. There's not going to be an in-between. And the ratings even kind of show that.
It is cool to see a lot of YouTube videos starting to come out. I've long said that this game is like...
There is tutorial videos out there.
It is just so... Ooh, some videos about the tunnels. So see, there's a lot of stuff that you can easily miss in Grim.
And if you were on any of their socials pre-launch, you definitely saw things as they were happening. So
this is going to be cool to see it build over the next, year and such. So congrats to Spoon. Congrats to Combat Waffle Studios for now having a second game on the market.
Excited they did it.
But Grim is out in the wild. Now we have others to play with. There's already talk, about needing to get in a Ruff Talk crew in there. So we're definitely, I like the idea.
I like the idea of private servers.
Yeah. I also like the idea of building a big, guild base and then a bunch of little different bases next to it, like a little guild city. That way, I'm inspired by CV Lang's setup when we went there, and he had all those little ones everywhere. Maybe those were other people's too.
Yeah, that wasn't all his.
So I like that idea though. It's like a little city. So what we do is we have a big. Grab your charger.
Yeah,
so that
CV
way
Lang's a moderator now.
Yeah, so that way we have a big guild hangout, and then we have all these little cities. If you hear any banging around and such, that's just us grabbing the charger. Let me plug you in as well, sir.
Thank you Thank you kindly. Yeah, I'm running on fumes.
Yeah, I could see the panic in grabbing
It's
that.
like, man, it just sucks when it goes out.
Yeah, so huge props again to Spoon and Combat Waffle Studios, and hell, Beyond Frames Entertainment as well too for now publishing this title.
I'm not bugging Spoon for probably a couple weeks. Yeah, man, he's more active in Discord than I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and it's very fairly priced as well too.
Yeah, underpriced for what I thought it was going to be.
And $19.99 selling point on MetaQuest. That's a steal, but it makes sense for the early access state as well too. Yeah. So that way, I mean, dude, there's so much content in this for $20.
Yeah, that's kind of some of the other complaints I think people have had. And
there's nothing to do. I've seen people say that, but that's just a surface level play session.
They don't realize there's shit there other than rock.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like
the map is so big that legit, if you load in and you're not in a dome, and you're not knowing to go to a dome, man, you can do a lot of walking.
Yeah.
You know, you might think legit like, oh my God, that's all there is.
That's why I say there's a lot of point of interest on the map, but you might not know. If you don't know about them, it's easy to wander in circles and miss them.
And I remember what it was like first time I loaded in.
Yeah, remember the first time
I was using the sun as navigation, not the sun, whatever's up there in the sky.
Remember the first time we went in and we started to...
That was the sun, yes.
When we found out about expanding the amount of things that you can craft and that side of things as well. And then Spoon gave us that nice tour and I was like, holy shit, there's all this stuff on the map. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, that was pre-map.
I'm excited to see the community of it grow. I'm very surprised, but it's cool to see that the first instances of interactions have seemed to be more cooperative and everyone trying to help each other. I think that this is going to be short-lived. But we'll see. We'll see. Congrats, though. This is
I
awesome.
might argue.
I'm so excited.
Even in the most dangerous city, someone will pick you up when you fall now and then. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck that, dude. I've seen good stories in Ghost of Tabor too, but I don't trust not a thing going on in there.
Yeah, with my luck, I'll be the one that gets blindside up, boinked by a rock. But cool to see. And then the other piece that we definitely got to start the show with is Walkabout Mini Golf's newest DLC course. Their Elvis course is out now.
And they did great, man.
So freaking good.
Whole lot of Elvis.
Yeah, whole lot of fun.
Whole lot of little hidden gems.
Whole lot of putting.
Yeah, whole lot of putting going on.
That's what you've been saying since the beginning.
I'm not even an Elvis fan, admittingly, dude. He played Springfield, Mass, right?
I'm not a crazy Elvis fan, but that doesn't take away about how good this course is.
The world loves Elvis. So it's not like one area or one region. It's like, no, literally the whole fucking world. People still pretend to be him.
Mm-hmm.
When for the most part, the people who would remember him are old. So the fact that kids, know who the hell Elvis is, it's like, that's pretty damn good.
And so many of those holes are non-standard. Like they bring like innovative, unique gameplay features.
Mechanics in, which they always do.
There's like some crazy ones that you're like, damn. We were playing with Miles Dyer, and he said something like, so many of these could be the 18th hole.
Yeah,
and how they do it. And that's a good way to put it. It's like there's a lot of unique.
They brought the flavor of Elvis to life for sure. So the casino.
So some of the course,
Graceland,
Yeah, it kind of takes you through like an unofficial tour through his life.
I'd like to know how many actual Easter eggs are on that.
I'm starting to see the community talk about some Easter eggs that I seemingly have missed. So to be continued on this one for sure.
Has me wondering how many more are out there.
I mean, the most obvious will be playing that I'll spoil is, the playing of the guitar. That's the main one I caught. But there's clearly some cool shit I missed, so I got to go back in.
The microphone.
The microphone was a cool one. We didn't catch it at first because we usually don't play.
Voice to the like old school AM.
Yeah, and we didn't catch it at first because we always play in party chat.
No, I think it was. Yeah, that's the other problem. I don't think of that.
We've probably missed other voice chat Easter eggs before because of that.
Sure. If they existed.
That MetaQuest party chat is just so crisp.
That's how we play, man.
It beats most games.
It doesn't interrupt the game sound and stuff like that. But
no.
I think the hype was real with this one.
Yeah, a super innovative gameplay course. Cool little walk through Elvis's life.
Dude,
great balls.
I know we'll never know. But I suppose we could figure out or we could get answers to how difficult it to work with whoever's in charge of Elvis and shit, versus what I'd really want to know is at the end of the day, how much was the licensing to do Elvis?
They kept their price.
Well, that's the thing. They didn't charge anything more.
God damn, to keep that $3.99 price for Elvis.
Imagine if Mighty Coconut did Beat Saber packs, because fucking Metallica would have been $5. You know, it's like, come on. Yeah, I'd
that would
the
be
licensing for Elvis is pretty intense, I would imagine.
That would be a fun Beat Saber pass. It would probably be so tough with splitting revenue with all the different games. I don't know. But imagine doing a Beat Saber pack where it's
other game
VR games. So music from a bunch of different VR games. So you have an Underdogs track, you have a Walkabout track.
Underdogs could be its own.
Underdogs could be its own album on
a
a rhythm game, 100%. I think that would be a cool Beat Saber concept. I don't know how it would work with splitting the.
I could see Synth Riders doing that.
Yeah,
with
or Drummed Rock,
Underdog. Yeah,
Smash Drums or something. Smash Drums has become the licensing powerhouse as well.
Got to give these people, but we also know a lot of these development companies in VR. Their backgrounds, a lot of them Hollywood backgrounds. It's you're already.
We know the Coconuts. They have Michelle Martell.
Jim Henson.
They have Michelle Martell out there. She had
got
a background.
The connections.
Come on, man. I mean, and I think Elvis.
We need to get her back on. Just her.
Scoring Elvis is a level up in their licensing catalog as well, too.
Yeah, dude. Labyrinth.
I know. They've gotten some big ones. Walkabout just.
That's no joke.
These freaking Coconuts, man. They don't stop.
They're not going after the books. They're going after the actual movies.
Yeah.
And individuals now with freaking Elvis.
Now,
how are they going to beat it now? What are they going to do next?
They can do whatever. And it's
we know and they will. But
they've never not done a good one. They flipped the course upside down and we loved it.
We don't have an announcement of the next license course, do we?
I don't think so. No. Unless I missed it or I'm brain farting on something.
There is zero ability to speculate what it could be either.
Yeah. No, it could be anything.
But you just think of the new putter without spoiling it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Here's what's happening now. Whatever putter I get, I'm like, this is my favorite putter.
I use the new one until the next one
comes out. And then the next course comes out, and I go, this is my favorite putter now. And I use it, and now I'm using the Elvis putter.
The Elvis putter's a good one.
But just a whole lot of Elvis going on.
The hard course is good, too. Really good course.
I found the hard course wasn't as hard as it could have been, and I'm not upset about it. The ball finding was I'd give it an 8 out of 10 in difficulty on some of the holes, for sure. I don't think the fox hunt was overly the worst for difficulty.
No. There's a couple moments in it that were my headphones are rubbing on my polo.
Oh, I was like, are you trying to tell me something, sir?
No, I can hear it. I'm just not sure if that sound is transferring over to the mic.
No, I couldn't hear it.
I can hear my headphones rubbing on my collar. I got the nice Home Sports polo on. Great little mixed reality.
Dude, I love that it's probably one of my favorite.
We got the chance to play Home Sports at Connect, so it was really cool to have that experience. And
after
this one's gonna
2
be
or
good.
3 gin and tonics. That was. I think we even warned them.
We're like, this isn't going to be our best play
Yeah,
session. Sorry in advance about you.
Give me the headset over here. Fucking.
Well,
great.
I'm horrified.
No, I'm just kidding. We weren't anything like that.
No. We handle ourselves well.
Hence the gin and tonic.
I'm horrified about what I did to their headsets in Sweden with Sweat, with playing Spatial Ops.
I'm horrified.
Hands down, one of the funnest multiplayer experiences I've ever had in VR was doing that in their studio.
We double time walked it there.
Why did we do that?
In the heat.
It was our first day there. We should have taken the scooters, man.
I was overdressed.
Yeah.
In a minute, and we stopped.
And here's the thing. Because we hadn't used the scooters yet. We used the scooters for the first time.
Oh, no. We know the scooters would have been the way to go.
No, didn't we use the scooters the night before?
Yeah.
Fuck, man. We should. Yeah. I mean, it was cool. We got to get a nice walk through.
Well, we probably shouldn't have used the scooters.
Hey,
I had to pee.
We got a nice scenic walk through the city, which we wouldn't have been able to take that route with the scooters. So that was a plus.
Yeah.
But we should have done that on the way back.
Sorry.
Because we're speed walkers, right? We're not doing this casual ass
Oh,
pace.
nah, dude.
So it's a little warm and sunny out. were just a little thick. I started sweating.
It's not flat. It's not like a plane.
I get super uncomfortable when I sweat like that too. I was like, oh, fuck.
I'm glad they gave us a little time before we started playing, but I'm like, man, I got to cool off.
I remember we walked in there and I sat down and I felt like a crackhead just trying to play off that I was like sweating. I felt like I was in a comedy skit. I felt like I was in a comedy skit. Like, what were you guys doing right before,
Y'all's got an awesome kitchen and shit, but could you be a little more generous with that air conditioning?
Ooh, am I the only one that? Ooh, I'm having a hot flash.
It was the amount. If we had like strolled,
no, we're just crackheads.
We'd have been fine. Fucking hustling.
Just should have taken them.
We had
scooters.
somewhere to be,
Yeah, which was all the more reason to just take a scooter or an Uber. But the scooter would have been nice because then we would have had that nice breeze. Love those scooters so much so we bought some. But that's cool stuff. We have a Grim out in the wild and a new Walkabout Mini Golf DLC course, and not just any, Elvis. And they delivered on it.
I'd legit give this one a 10 out of 10.
Gameplay wise, one of their most fun DLCs, I think, because of the amount of innovation they brought in almost every hole in this game. It's like, wow.
It's pretty cool, man.
Those are very innovative. No ice holes, unfortunately. You know me, I like my air hockey.
You like your whole ice?
I want a whole course of the air hockey theme. I know we have Ice Lair. Ice Lair is an amazing course. I love the Evil Lairs series. I've gone on record to say it's my favorite of the series of courses in Walkabout. But I want an air hockey course with that gameplay mechanic,
I want to collab with I Expect You to Die.
That would be a fun collab. I like when they do their game collabs like we've seen with Labyrinth and Myst. It's
Wallace and Gromit.
Wallace and Gromit. But that's an animation. But nonetheless, I like these type of...
Still counts.
...of things. Cool stuff, though. So that was a fun week on that front. And also, this is exciting because the Quest 3S is already... and a very affordable headset. Right now, the Quest 3 family runs like we have the 128 gigabyte model for $299. We have the 256 model for $399, and then for $499 we have the regular Quest 3. However, until February 9th, the 256 gigabyte model of the Quest 3S is now $50 off, bringing it down to only $350 for that.
Not bad.
That's a steal. $350 for the 256.
$299 would be a steal.
Well, $299 you can get the 128 gigabyte.
Well, at that point, that one would be like 120, 150.
Oh my God! See,
imagine getting one for like $100.
$250.
That'd be way too cheap.
$250. Come on, man. They're crushing it. So that's a cool sale. I mean, I'm surprised to see. I didn't think that the Quest 3 models could be discounted any more than they already are, to be honest with you. So that's really cool to see that sale in effect.
It could also then be taking a little bit of a hit on the comp of it, and just knowing they're getting it into more hands, which will help more developers because then that's more people to play games and buy apps. So it kind of makes sense.
I wonder if we have listeners. I'm sure we at least have one because of statistics. There's got to at least be one, but I wonder what percentage of our listeners are people who currently do not have VR headsets and listen in to potentially become a user.
I know we've had some in the past because they become users.
Yes.
And then users.
I wonder what percentage.
It's not so bad.
If you're one of those people, you can comment on YouTube or even comment in Spotify. Spotify lets you comment these days. So if you're one of those peeps, throw that in the comments. And before we move on as well, away from this bomb diggity ass sale, and go to your first news point. I do have to plug, and I won't spend too much time because I don't want to make this a weekly annoyance, but I do have to plug that applications are open for our second annual Ruff Talk VR gaming showcase taking place April 4th, 2025 at 1 p.m. on YouTube. So you can apply if you're a developer studio interested in that. You can apply by visiting the link in our show notes and filling out the Google form there. I'm excited for, wow, the first year was great. I'm excited for an even better showcase this year. So
yeah, man,
it's going to be a good time.
Slowly coming together.
Yes.
Comes fast though.
The numbers are coming in.
That's
the applications are filling in. It's
going to be a good show.
When's
the cutoff?
well, I'm having, the cutoff for receiving all the trailers is 1 month before the showcase. I don't really like to put a hard cutoff on applications in case somebody, last minute comes in and goes, hey, here's a trailer.
You're not going to say no to.
Here's a trailer. So the cutoff for sending the trailer is a month before. I would like to have people committed as early as possible, but I'm
So
a bit of
gives you good.
bit of a trailer slut. I can't really say no to a last minute request as well to that.
It's a good trailer.
Yeah.
And the game doesn't look like it sucks.
Hey, don't judge a book by its cover always, because Clone Drone wouldn't be my most visually appealing one off a trailer, but
Clone Drone.
So much fun.
So take Battle Dome.
So take us away, sir, with our first news point from you.
All right. I mean, it's not great news, so I'm excitingly.
We're starting with some heavy hitting negatives. Just blam, blam, blam.
I mean, it's not negative. It just is what it is. And I mean, there's enough out there to keep you happy. But Power Wash Simulator is ending VR support as they're going to redeploy their dev teams to work on other projects that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So
they said
go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say, they said they can't really justify the.
Yeah, I agree with it.
Well, you said there's a lot of content in as is.
Yeah, there's enough to get you. They got a handful of DLCs. It's not like I see the flat screen one blowing up monthly with new shit. So it's like, I get it.
And
there's enough to keep you busy.
And it's not like they're killing it. And if like a bug shows up, they'll never fix it. They'll continue with bug support. Yes, just no new content. So
I'm excited to see what the team comes up with down the road. We'll see if it's even VR related.
Let's be real. If a new VR user buys a headset, there's still dozens of hours of content available in that title.
Yeah, dude. Plus it's co-op.
They're keeping it maintained, functional, just not new content. Like you said, not the best news, but also not really the end of the world. It's not like they're delisting it off of the store or anything like that. You will still be able to enjoy your Power Wash Simulator in VR.
Allegedly,
yeah. Fast forward 6 months. Power Wash Simulator VR is being discontinued. No, that's not the case. Hope
it's a good title.
Yeah. Well,
I like it. I mean, but I like fucking love it on flat screen. So,
well, why don't we just pull the damn Band-Aid off of some stuff as well too? If we're going there, I'll one up your negativity.
Sorry, I got good stuff next one.
Yeah, my stuff gets more positive after this too. So, a studio I love. I've loved every title from them. With Soul Assembly, they're behind the Drop Dead series as well as Last Stand, a PvP mixed reality shooter, very unique concept. We got to play that at Gamescom as well. Unfortunately, they're undergoing some layoffs. They've laid off 15% of their team, unfortunately. That's also not a number that like 70% of the team like we've seen with other layoffs and such, but 15% is still a good chunk. And
well, and depending on how many people work there,
15% could be 3 people,
could be 150 people.
Yeah, correct. So I don't really know the
but it's still, I feel for the 15%.
No doubt. Apparently it affects across the whole team. Like there's some QA gone, some marketing gone, some animation gone, as well as various artists.
Well, and I mean, they didn't give the specific reason, did they?
No, not
that usually companies do.
I mean, usually you don't lay off people when there's a surplus.
Well, I know a lot of studios juggle multiple things. They don't just do VR shit, and it's like not all projects are home runs. So
they said this decision was taken to ensure the studio is aligned with the requirements of our upcoming projects.
Okay. Maybe it's a money.
Yeah, definitely.
Move money to an area that, okay.
But that's unfortunate. I've always liked everyone that we've interacted with from that studio. So
yeah, I'm hoping. I don't know anybody. Well, I haven't heard of anyone we've spoken with that's gone, but it'd be pretty sad if it's happened.
Yeah, best of luck to anyone affected. That's always unfortunate news, especially from really a great studio. They also just dropped Just Dance VR not long ago, which I don't think got as big of a splam as you might think for a big title.
You know what closing really fucking was kind of like a gut punch a little?
Which one?
Oh man. The one that did Micro Machines.
Oh yeah.
That was swift.
Mm-hmm. That was unfortunate.
That was one of the more ruthless things I've seen gone down, even leading up to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like where the world turned against this fucking evil studio for putting out a game. I was like, holy crap, man.
Layoffs and studio closings are always unfortunate.
Closings are a lot scarier than layoff. At least layoff, you know, I feel like, you know, as a company, you still have a chance.
Yeah, so usually it's done so you have a chance of survival.
Yeah.
Versus,
and so occasionally, sometimes people end up going back.
Versus full-blown, sometimes things can recover and stuff.
Mm-hmm. But doesn't mean that, like, I want to get laid off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I don't think you do.
You want to take us away with some more positive news?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was waiting for more. Like anxiously sitting here like I'm a listener. I'm like, hey, you got some more for me or what, dude?
No, they said that they're going to support people with, trying to transition into new opportunities and stuff. So
yeah, that means we'll let you say you worked here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on the positive kind of news, fun, give back.
Here's a bag of cookies.
Here's some cookies and milk. Combat Waffle Studios, January 24th through the 27th. I'd recommend following Combat Waffle socials because they've been pretty active about what they're doing, especially on Discord. But they're going to be hosting some Twitch drops for Ghosts at the Board, and that's January 24th through the 27th.
Wow!
So that means that you participate in their event, and what is it? 30 minutes. You have to technically, I think.
Yes, they say players who watch 30 minutes of qualified streams will receive the dropped exclusive RFCP camo skin that can be applied to a list of weapons. I mean, I can read.
So that would mean if you have the Founding Fathers, you're not getting that.
What do you mean?
Well, it's a Twitch drop, right? So you only get that if
it sounds like it. I don't know though. That's a good question.
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine.
I say that because to me, it's just more.
I would imagine you don't. I imagine it's a Twitch drop only.
Yeah, an exclusive.
That would make sense to me, but I don't want to. I don't know that 100%.
Either way, it's just good incentive to show up.
In a statement from Scott, he had said viewership for VR titles is growing by leaps and bounds on Twitch, with more and more players curious about what immersive play really looks like, and the kind of excitement it can deliver in games like Ghosts of Tabor. Despite this, rewards-enabled streams haven't been super common for VR games on Twitch. I'm honestly not sure if this has ever been done before. That's why we've made something truly special for those who tune in to unlock in-game. So this will take place from,
January 24th to the 27th.
Yep, January 24th at 8 a.m. Eastern Time to Monday, January 27th. So that's cool.
No, it is cool.
I mean, look, let's be real. Ghosts of Tabor is one of those games that so much of its growth has been because from YouTubers and Twitch streamers, and they've always done a great job supporting those creators as well, too. They did that whole creator, why am I blanking on the name? Creator tag.
The charm.
The creator charm thing. They've always gone in and given love to their streamers and stuff. So this is a great, way to expand on that even more. So
yeah, for
cool
everybody.
Stuff. Cool stuff. So we have some other pieces of news. That is not all. But before we carry on with it, like always, let's give a shout out to our Patreon members on our on-air shout out here. An essential part of the Ruff Talk VR podcast, help keep the lights on and such. So huge shout out to our Patreon members, Asim, Amelia, Carson, Earth Witness, Aspire Mike, Jake, Crispy, and Choose. You all rock. Thank you all for your continued support week after week after week. So cool stuff.
Been a lot of weeks.
Yeah, you can join the Patreon as well if you want to hear your name on that list. If you don't want it to be your name, you want it to be your cat's name, your dog's name, something like that too. Shit, I'm open to it. So you can find that by visiting the link in our show notes, the same spot you can find our showcase application. And there you can also find the link for our Discord server. Ever hyped. We always say how great of a community it is, and we will continue to hype it up because we even hear from people, hey,
I mean, it's not bullshit.
I've heard it for 6 months and I'm finally joining.
If it wasn't good, I wouldn't say it.
Yeah, if we had toxicity.
It's well run. It's fucking always something to do, always someone to talk to.
A lot of great discussion, VR related. a lot of VR discussion, but then there's also flat screen gaming discussion,
car racing,
pet pictures.
Car racing has its own channel, does it not? Yeah.
Food discussion, off-topic
porn.
discussion, little movies, music, a little bit of everything.
Look at my sexy noodle.
So you can find the link for that. And if you are a Patreon member, you also get access to an exclusive channel in our Discord server as well, too. So even more incentive on that front. So cool stuff. And we are back. Sometimes we take a little break after the Patreon on the back end. Relieve ourselves a little bit. We drink a lot of beverages on this side. A lot of coffee, a lot of water. Not this week, but oftentimes a juice as well too. And those juices, man, they can run through you. But nonetheless, back to the news. Asgard's Wrath 2 from Sanzaru Games. They're getting their last content update, and they've actually done a great job for a game that has 60 hours of gameplay content. They've done like timed events that they call like cosmic events. Dude, a game that has 60 hours of base content doesn't need, seasonal events and season, but they've kept it up. I mean, huge props to them. But like I said, they're receiving their last content update as the studio moves to quote unquote their next big thing. So exciting as well.
Hopefully that's again VR big things.
Yeah. I mean, that's
not just the base game alone, dude.
It's definitely VR things. They're owned by Meta. So they're not, I don't think they're allowed to do anything else at this point. They're on
maybe they're working on Orion.
Honestly, that's a possibility.
Like nothing's out of the scope of.
Yeah, they could be all on AR glasses related
projects
things
that maybe were slated for years are now slated for a year.
I still want to know what Twisted Pixel Games is doing. And I want to know why it's not Path of the Warrior 2.
Path of the Warrior.
I want a sequel to Path of the Warrior so bad. Twisted Pixel did a great job with that. I think with modern technology and modern headset capacity, like ability.
Brand new story, brand new bosses.
Co-op.
And then, well, of course. And then the cherry on top would be 2v2.
Mm-hmm.
Like you and your buddy fight in that style of combat. Come on, man.
You ready? In typical VR fashions, because you got to have one of these game modes. So you have your campaign mode, and then you have a roguelite mode with upgrades as well for after you beat the campaign. Because everything in VR is a roguelite or a shooter.
Pretty much.
But that's the way it goes. So huge props to Sanzaru Games for keeping up with content updates in such a massive game as is. And I'm very excited to see what the quote unquote next big thing is.
So coming out in early access is Tablecraft, which is it's actually out as of last week. So it just came out on the 16th for $9.99.
Not a bad price.
Which used to be $14.99, but they knocked it down to $9.99.
Oh, this is the one from the studio of Airspace Defender. Not suspicious.
Still haven't tried that yet.
Yeah.
He told us to try to win it.
I don't enter giveaways though. That's the thing. I feel like that it's.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it at the time, but I'm like, dude, I can't enter to win a giveaway.
Giveaways are for like the VR community.
Correct.
And I am obviously the VR community, but I feel like as a creator,
yes,
as a podcaster,
I don't want to take away ever from.
We get so much stuff for free as
I did enter to win a Roto VR chair though.
Well, that's
full disclosure. But I want
you want one so bad you couldn't resist. You would feel. I know you would feel zero shame winning that in a contest, but especially for like games and hardware and stuff, it's like nah. Let that be for the community.
All right. So anywho,
sorry.
So you're playing it. They say a mad science VR sandbox. Doesn't really. I wouldn't say mad science. You're playing with radioactive cubes, and it looks like you've got the full chart of all the chemicals for the, that you learn in school, and you're going to unlock it. There's like 800 different combinations of shit you can build.
When I saw the trailer, I was like, this is a game I think I need to go in and play to fully understand.
But it is early access. So just know it's an early access. I think they even use the word demo somewhere in their
There's going to be bugs.
Yeah. But for $9.99, I mean, it's got my attention enough to want to talk about it. So I want to try it for sure.
They say that they were working
Just
on
the
it.
mad scientist part I don't know about.
They were working on it, and then they said they actually put it on hold for a while bit to work on Airspace Defender. But they've recently put out a roadmap on their Discord and such like that. So there's going to be more continued support in that regard. So cool stuff. That studio actually has 2 games on the market these days. So this one's an interesting one. And I hope it's because there's a new system coming soon, because I feel like this is an essential part that some consumers just go crazy for. But Meta has removed the app that you use to view your achievements on the Quest. And on the developer end, they've depreciated the app, like to do it. Like there's no more continued support. If you already have the app in your game, then it can remain, but there'll be no new updates to it, no bug fixes, anything like that. And you can't really add it to new titles as well. So the achievement features, for all intents purposes, has been killed on the Meta Quest, which like achievements are like, to me, just an essential part of gaming.
Meta achievements?
Achievements in general. The meta system's always been.
In-game achievements I'm all about.
Correct.
But, like meta achievements because of certain things I've done, that's gone, right? Like when you do a certain level or something and then you get the...
Yes, that's now gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm cool.
I like those. What was unfortunate about that is that their system for viewing them was always bad. But as a concept,
Yeah, I think the only one who really... I think remotely you could see what your friends... Like if they hit a new achievement or something. Remember it used to almost send you a notification per se.
Yeah, and if you unlocked one and you clicked the notification for it, it would bring you to the game page instead of to the achievement list.
There is a big downside to doing away with that though.
What's that?
Huge downside.
What's that? Oh, well, you used to be able to track how many people.
There's a lot of data that gets pulled based on first achievements.
We'll talk about that later in the episode.
But even aside from that, it's just in general, that's not the first time that data has been used to get a grasp of users, and how are they going to compensate for that now?
Mm-hmm. There's even some content.
That's legit, dude.
There's even some content creators I think it's funny. You read the username, he goes M4, so I think it's Machete Coletti, but he's an achievement hunter. That's his whole shtick. And he was like, "Come on, man! Like I'm so unmotivated right now because he would go into a game and his thing would be
Xbox got plenty.
Dude, they're huge for the Xbox community. They're huge for the PlayStation community. It's just always been a weekly utilized feature on MetaQuest. But to kill it outright, I think is unfortunate. Hopefully that means that a 2.0 is coming. That's where my brain goes.
Achievement 2.0.
But you would think that they would have that ready before they killed the first one.
I'll stand by even if just one achievement, so you have a grasp of how many people have actually physically played the game.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're getting that data anymore.
And it adds replayability to games. Some people will go in and they will hunt every achievement. And that's a lot of time that they will spend in your game that they never would have without those achievements. So that's unfortunate. That it brings a lot of joy to some players. Some players are achievement hunters. That's their spiel.
Yeah, I think I enjoy it more in flat screen than in VR.
Well, because of the utilization.
I don't really. If it's an in-game thing to unlock or something, I do. But I don't give a shit if outside a game I saw that I did it.
Well, because I guarantee
I'm getting
you,
nothing for it.
I guarantee you would care more if the interface of it was good. That if it popped up on your screen and you clicked it, it brought you to a list of all the achievements in the game and what they are. I bet you it would be a little bit better of an experience the whole time.
As long as I still have the ability to unlock shit in a game I play, like if you're playing Mother Gunship for the first time ever, you have a whole list of shit you can unlock
in game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just happy with just don't fuck with my in-game stuff. I'm cool.
Yeah, it is unfortunate though.
Truthfully, the graphics for the achievements sucked ass anyways.
Well, again, I think
you want to know truthfully. They weren't. I'm gonna brag about it.
I'll stick to what I said before.
Look at this Rec Room looking graphic.
The utilization of it, the implementation of it sucked. Yeah, and the user interface of it.
I don't know.
But that doesn't mean kill it. That means make it better. That's
I guess because I wasn't really invested into giving a shit.
But some people did. There's like a good amount of players that like that's their thing.
My sympathies to you.
Well, it's, hey, I think it's silly to kill off. I think it's like, what's the point?
I don't think it matters. Maybe they're freeing up space so we can get better shit out of it.
No, I
Maybe
think
it's hogging resources.
I think they're probably making a better system. But dude, achievement hunting on flat screen, that's huge.
I didn't even know it was a hardcore thing in VR. I apologize. So we got a 90s inspired VR adventure game coming called Lovesick, where you will play Sam the bassist. There's some sort of cosmic event that will take. This is where kind of like descriptionary goes real south. You read that description 10 freaking times, you're still not really going to probably grasp what the trailer they made for it does it great. But cosmic event, here again, Sam the bassist, you got to free your bandmates from this like make believe fucking worlds they're living in. You're going to solve some puzzles, all diorama style play.
Looks like trying to get the band back together.
They got, well, you have to, rock band style,
mini games in there. It looks like.
Yeah, they got a little bit. And it's funny because as we were watching the trailer, I saw you getting actually more excited for it. You're like, I think I really want to play this.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad.
No, it doesn't look bad. Coming out in March 6th, a matter of fact.
I like that you play as the burnt out. They say a burnt out bassist.
Sam the bassist.
You're just like fucking done with the band, but now you got to get them back together. Look at that, like a 90s
Some
movie.
Really weird.
It's like a 90s movie.
Weird universe using like memories, and that's just what it seems, right?
It seems like a unique game, definitely. Yeah. And it
definitely down to try it though.
One of those games that it looks like that every level is a different gameplay style feature. That's what it looked like, but it looks cool. This one's cool as well. There's a little video example of it in action, but Banter, they put out a feature where you can generate objects from speech using AI tools. And in the video they supplied for Upload VR, they have a generation, like they generate a cat based off of a very simple text prompt of like, give me a black cat with a yellow belly, something like that. And the model it generated isn't bad. So I was like, man, for doing quick on the fly world creation, you're like, oh man, I can't find a coffee maker anywhere in the lit, whatever. I need a printer just for like aesthetic reasons to be able to be like, hey, generate me a printer.
Chances are it's going to do it better than you can anyway.
Correct. The amount of time it would. So it's like, wow, that's actually a huge feature for world creation stuff. Wait till that you're able to generate whole worlds off of text prompts, not just objects for them.
I mean, I don't think we're far away at all.
No, if it's already at that point.
Voice command is good because it would, I can think of a lot of like even medical issues where you might not have use of, imagine being able to create from voice, like some vision that you ordinarily would never be able to do due to like something unfortunate like paralysis or something.
Man, generative AI has only been at this level for a very short amount of time, and look at the use cases we're already hitting with it in video games and other industries.
It's weird because I see some younger people who like don't mind it in an educational aspect because they can get through it, but I've seen argument with the artistic aspect because they always are saying now like, well, where's it getting its artwork from?
Yeah, it's from
other people's artwork.
Correct. You know what my counter to that is?
Do tell.
Where are you, like any musician or artist, where are they inspired from their works?
Well, big difference between inspired and ripped off, right?
Well, it's just you learn from other existing works as a human, right? AI is doing exactly what the human brain does.
I take more of the BitTorrent justification of like, whoa, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just taking a piece of a million. So you're going to fucking tell me.
Just to play devil's advocate on it,
Yeah,
isn't the human brain just.
Yeah, like I'm only taking one little piece of that, and then I'll take a piece from that guy and a piece from that guy, and then I'll compile it with another program.
But that's what the human brain does for creative pursuits, right?
And honestly, in music, most
nobody's
songs
a blank slate.
Three basic chords, anyways.
And like,
strummed and
a lot of times drawn from similarities and inspiration from other existing songs. Like People will be like, if you ask anyone, they're like, who are you inspired by in your creative pursuit? Most people have an answer to that, and you can see similarities between them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
who's your inspiration?
Yeah, now, like you said, there's a big now
AI inspiration. Do you think AI
again, I'm just playing devil's advocate on this. Like you said,
how do you get Suri to work? Ask Suri if who's inspires her.
She doesn't do generative AI.
No,
but she just does little basic Google search answers. But you did, again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. You did make a good point that there's a big difference between being inspired by and stealing from to learn from.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying. That's what we do as humans. We get inspired by other creators.
Well, and what's weird is
we mimic their styles.
Here's where it gets even more weird. Is AI really taking pieces of people's hand-done artwork? Or is it taking images of known digital artworks?
Well, I've also heard the counter that
because I remember when digital artwork became a thing, there was a lot of people with similar arguments. They just don't like the fact that you were.
Yes, I always heard people like hand-drawn artists come out at digital artists that they're not real artists.
They still do.
They seem to have gotten a little bit more accepted now that there's the AI side of things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And it's weird.
I have heard people speculate, though, that as most artwork, if most artwork out there ended up being AI created artwork, then AI begins to learn off of other created AI artwork, and it starts to like regress backwards.
You can always ask
AI
for, even if you ask it for an original.
Know the truth to that as well, but yeah, interesting stuff.
It'll all be full circle, man.
Oh man, I went into this episode saying that we were going to talk about, or not talk about in depth, but at least reference that, like, yo, TikTok was shut down, and then that was on Saturday night, and then today on Sunday, it's back up. So we'll move on from that.
There's people who legit slept through the shutting down and coming back.
Mm-hmm. It went down like last night, pretty late East Coast time.
Before 11.
And then it was back up before we started recording today. So
I watched it go down pretty much in live time.
That's old news, brother. On to the next. So Banter, they've added generative AI tools to Banter. That's cool.
All right. Rogue Pinatas, family fun, multiplayer, takeover pinatas that are taking over the neighborhood. Multiple different scenarios. Mm-hmm. Upgrades,
co-op roguelite.
It's I mean, dude, it can't get simpler than, they're little pinatas jumping all around, and you go up and beat the shit out of them. But then I saw like Gatling gun, saw what looked like a rocket launcher. So you get some serious weapons with this, but family friendly. So no blood, and it's a pinata. So you're going to beat the shit out of one in real life anyway. So it's not even a far stretch from reality, other than they're coming alive. But that's coming in just a couple weeks, February 6th.
Wow.
Yep.
That's not bad.
No joke.
Check out the studio name, developed by Nerd Ninjas.
Nerd Ninja.
That's a great studio name. Dude,
Nerd Ninja would be a great jiu-jitsu studio name.
If you're looking to do, there's actually one similar.
Nerd Ninja?
To that. They call themselves the Fight Nerds.
Yeah, they're the
ones that have the glasses with the tape on it. So like that might have been why your brain subconsciously went to it. But Pinatas is a great one. If you're looking to make a shooter, like, okay, we want to make a shooter, but we don't want to have it like violent.
We want to release
kids.
It in China.
We want to make it friendly for everyone. Pinatas is like the ultimate. That's like the perfect enemy. Yeah, you fucking kill pinatas.
Nothing bad happens.
Hey, you have me sold at roguelite to at least co-op roguelite. I'll definitely try that. What'll be the extent, the big thing to me is like how the upgrade system is, but it looks like from the trailer that it's a pretty decent upgrade system.
Yeah, looks like you'll get a choice of 3 different cards and pick the one you want.
Up to 4 players as well too, with cross-platform support, so you can play PC VR players can play with Quest players. That's huge. So that's awesome. Great stuff. Nerd Ninjas.
Ninja.
Like I said, great studio name. And then this is actually one that was on our first ever Ruff Talk VR gaming showcase, the Obsessive Shadow, which I don't remember your exact quotes, but just it scared the shit out of you when you went in and actually played it. you're like, that one's scary for no one's business. But the Obsessive Shadow, a great VR.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah, scared the bejesus off of you.
It did all right.
It is coming now. Not only it's out now on the Quest, but it's also coming now to PlayStation VR 1 and 2. So that's huge.
Dude, you got to try it.
No, just like I'm not trying Madison VR. I'll take your word. I remember the trailer.
I haven't tried
of it.
Madison.
I remember the trailer.
I recorded footage of something that happens in
the
Obsessive Shadow.
And it's coming sometime on PlayStation 1, PlayStation VR 1 and 2. It's coming sometime
It's fucking creepy.
in February. On the Quest, though, I mean, like, the trailer for it was intense. Also, by the way, it is currently available on Steam, as like I said, it's available now on Quest. But I remember when we saw the trailer for it on our showcase, I was like, fuck no, that's a great trailer, but I can't handle that. And then you went in and you were like, dude, that is scary for no one's business. Like that for no reason. That is just over the top scary. So I was like, nope, I'm not going in.
Actually, what if we did it like sometime here?
We would have to do it. I don't think I would be too scared if I was playing with you physically next to me.
Or if you're in headset and I'm not.
Yeah, like I don't think that's nearly as physically scary.
Or do it when your friends are over so you got all that like testosterone and shit.
I don't trust them.
Nut shot you.
No, not even that. They'll just fucking like blow air on my, fuck with me. I don't need that. I don't trust them like that.
Blow air on me?
I don't know. Something to scare me, See, you can see me start to sweat and fuck with me. I don't need that.
Man, I wish I could finish the Obsessive Shadow.
Yeah, because you said it was good.
Yeah, it just scared me.
Yeah,
it scared me. I won't lie.
All right,
I'll move on.
Horror games.
I mean, horror works in VR, man. It works good enough that like shit legit will fucking scare me, and that doesn't even happen in the real world, right? You got to go to some pretty messed up things to be that scared in real life. I shouldn't be able to be that scared in fake life. But anyways, puzzling people, puzzle peeps. That's us. We like puzzles. This one's kind of got like a space agey kind of vibe to it. I'll give them props on their trailer. We were looking for spoilers.
It's a puzzle game that we're going to talk about, which you've said it before. If they put spoilers in a trailer,
you're going to fucking blow it. So they did a good job with those real quick little.
There was one moment you went, because you thought there was about to be a spoiler, and then there wasn't.
It seemed like what they showed would have allegedly. So they describe it as a room scale VR experience. We've got Exit Condition 1. Yes, Exit Condition 1 coming.
Makes you wonder if there's going to be Exit Condition 2, 3.
Well,
unless they mean Exit Condition like 1, like you have one possible route of escape.
I mean, I'm thinking that's what it is, but you actually have me wondering more on a long-term thing. If
I made a
Exit
sequel,
Condition 2,
if I ever made a sequel,
well, dude, you already own Exit Condition, so why not? But coming to Quest and Steam this week, you're tasked with restoring a malfunctioning portal while trying to outwit a rogue security system. So, lots of puzzles. That's what I'm hoping. That's what the trailer showed. Yeah. Portals escape. But I'm kind of thinking Exit Condition 1 is really 1 because there will be a 2.
And you said this week it's January 23rd.
Yep.
So that is what, 3 days away after this
Wednesday.
episode drops. I'm going to their store page now to see if there's a pre-order price.
Thursday.
Dude. Okay.
$10,
so it drops officially that date, but it's actually out now on early access. I wonder if there's going to be major update between the version out now and then, but you can get it in early access right now for $9.99.
It's got a good rating.
That's a damn good price
4.8
for a puzzle escape room game. So that's cool. I wonder if there's going to be a big update with that. So cool stuff. On my second to last piece of news, this one's listed as a potential leak on Upload VR. Asus.
Who leaked it?
They said.
Just start with sadly.
No, this is Bradley is like the number one leaker for PC VR style hardware, whereas for Quest hardware, this comes from who I would consider the number one leaker in Quest hardware, Luna. Goes in deep into oftentimes a lot of software code, but at this point, I've started to get a suspicion as well, is used as a little bit of a WikiLeaks style central hub of leaks where sometimes I think people send Luna stuff to leak. That's just a suspicion because the leaks that come with like way beyond looking at code at this point, but
Oh yeah, direct knowledge shit.
yeah,
I get that.
but Luna's awesome. I must follow on Twitter for the latest things in Quest software things, and just great leaks like this. But Luna received a tip regarding details about an upcoming Asus Horizon operating system headset. We heard, I think around Connect, that Meta will be having non-Meta made VR headsets that use the Horizon operating system software, just like Google is doing with the Android XR operating system. So we are seeing the beginning of the operating system wars in VR as well. But apparently, Asus's Horizon operating system headset will have both face and eye tracking on it. So
I don't want VR knowing what I'm looking at sometimes.
It's also going to have, unfortunately, micro OLED displays, which, man, if this is anything more than $500, in my opinion, to not have pancake lenses is always a miss. It's also going to have the current best chip from Snapdragon, the XR2 Plus Gen 2 headset, which I struggled a lot less this week than I did last week with it. That's the same chipset being used in Samsung's new headset and Sony's new standalone headset as well. Upload VR remarks, and this is actually a good point, that it risks being obsoleted by as early as 2026 by a rumored Quest 4, because apparently that's rumored that it's going to have XR Gen 3 in it when that drops. So, dude, it's crazy to think that a year away from the next model of Quest, the Quest 3 still feels like a new boy.
Possible.
The way I think that the hardware is going to continue to advance at this rate for another 5 to 10 years before it slows down to like consoles don't really advance like that at that rate. The consoles will remain in the same generation for like 5-6 years. I think we'll see VR hit that point, but maybe in like 10 years. It's like shit's just every 2 years we're probably going to see a major update.
Well, they can squeeze so much more out of so little space. So every year they can do that, then certainly they can come out with a headset every couple of years.
And when you look at the difference between a Quest 2 to a Quest 3, it's like, how do you not put out that update? Like, imagine what an XR Gen 3 is going to look like.
No clue. Imagine 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Imagine when we're all wearing Orions. All right. So kind of based on what we were talking about with achievements and the importance of them. And this is speaking on Quest alone, no other platforms, but Beat Saber is nearing the 10 million unit mark. No other shit but Quest. No Steam, no nothing. And based on people hitting a certain achievement, which is used as a great gauge. I think when we were talking,
that was your reference point of being bummed of them leaving. Not from the consumer side, from a data standpoint.
This isn't the first time we've seen that referenced.
Yep.
With a company saying, hey, we've had, 1 million people. And then you read and you're like, based on people getting to that first achievement. So even if they're, plus or minus it based on people who don't hit achievement or especially the first achievement or have never done like campaign shit, for whatever it is, but 10 freaking million.
And they're top selling on Steam and PSVR 2 as well.
Gee.
So what do you think it is across all?
Probably over 20 mil.
And that doesn't count DLCs.
No.
The amount of money that Beat Saber has pulled in is insane.
I'm almost thinking that like a good DLC and 10% of the sales from that, and you'd probably be set for multiple years.
Beat Saber just crushes it.
Yeah, dude, and they haven't stopped. The game's old as shit. And it holds up with any game released. Any rhythm game that comes out, and bells, whistles, guitars, drums.
They did some of their best DLCs last year. It's not like that they're slowing down, like they're hitting some of their best.
And it's the same shit.
Yep.
Lightsabers and blocks. Lightsabers and blocks. Badass sound. Badass remixes. This is just, they're crushing it. Like that is,
insane.
Dude.
Insane.
10 freaking million just on Quest.
Yeah. And that's not from it, like you said, that's not any statement from them. That's just from achievement digging.
And we, again, the importance of that initial
data mining, as people might call it.
But we know Quest is the most played, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we could probably come to our own. So I'm thinking it's got to be between all at least 20, 25 million. That's sickening.
Yeah.
Imagine if every studio did that. Holy crap. Okay.
So
kudos to one of my favorite rhythm games. Seba of Beat.
You never get sick of it.
No, how could you?
Mm-hmm.
But if they dropped a Doors pack, how much would you be playing it?
I mean, that's the best is yet to come with Beat Saber. They've only scratched the surface. I think their licensing game has leveled up, so I'm excited to see what drops in 2025.
I'm just hoping it's not a whole bunch of Taylor Swift.
They ended the year though, like, dude, that's hard to follow up on. Metallica, let's see, but they don't fuck around, so we'll see. So that's it for VR news. But do you want to end on the upcoming games for the rest of January?
Yeah, man.
I mean, we're over halfway through January, so there's not a whole bunch left. Also, January has been a slower month, so you'll do the first half of remaining games for the next, 11 days of January, and I'll do the bottom half. Next week, we'll talk what's coming in February.
It's pretty much a game a day.
Mm-hmm.
If you really...
Better than 4 in one day, 5 in one day.
They group some of them on the same day, but...
This also doesn't mean that there's not going to be a shadow drop like we see.
No, Warplanes could be doing something, right?
Madison VR came out of nowhere on the Quest, so who knows?
All right, so January 21st on PC VR and Quest, we have Cold VR. January 23rd.
A super hot style game. It's kind of funny that they named it Cold, but nonetheless.
January 23rd, well,
I think that's the point.
People do know. January 23rd, PC VR and Quest, we have Exit Condition 1.
Talked about earlier.
January 23rd on Quest, we've got Realize Music, Sing.
Ooh, another singing style game.
January 28th on Quest, we've got Filthy Hands VR. Love the name. And January 29th on PSVR 2, we've got Rebelloid VR.
Rebelloid is a great name.
I believe I'm saying it properly.
On January 30th, we have on MetaQuest Stage Time. On PSVR 2.
That one I'm curious about.
Yeah. On PSVR 2, on January 31st, we have Deadland 2 VR. Coming sometime in January, we have Beyond Blue After the Storm. And then sometime in January, we have Fitness Fables. And I will say, too, that last week had the release of Arcane Age on PSVR 2 and PC VR. We have not checked it out, but I've heard nothing but amazing things about Arcane Age as well. Interestingly, Sin Studio put out last week that they have sold more on PSVR 2 than on Quest. I think that that's a product of, well, they're
people
always
needing shit on PSVR 2.
Correct. Also, a game like Blade and Sorcery being so heavily, featured on the store, but I think that might be a product of a testament of the current product placement of games on the store. You're checking out the store page for Stage Time.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't see this one earlier, but I mean, it's not my jam. But you could have a comedy club.
Yep, it allows you to kind of host like virtual venues. To me, it's like an app that lets you do shit you can do in Horizon
Worlds.
I'm
too shy to sing.
I think that this is a game that's going to struggle a lot with the existence of Horizon Worlds, which already has so many existing music venues and comedy clubs and stuff.
Never heard of Horizon Worlds. I'm just kidding. It's like literally shoved down the world's throat. Okay. No, I just thinking the singing thing is hard. It takes a special person that can get up on
like
karaoke
Songbird,
night.
But with other people in there.
And one of the things that karaoke bars usually have that
is alcohol.
There's alcohol, which loosens you up. You're around and groups.
Let's be real, dude. You put down
groups.
There's a number. You might say I'll never do karaoke, but you have enough drinks and you will do karaoke.
You have enough drinks, you'll do anything.
It's just what that number is different for everyone. So,
and then to make it even like kick it up a notch is you could do comedy club. But what percentage of people even think they're funny enough to do a couple minutes of shit on stage.
My experience too is the people that think that they're the funniest are not. And the people that don't think that they're too funny sometimes say the funniest shit. So you also don't, you're not inviting. Nonetheless,
my secret as a comedy booker is to just tie in with a local shrink and get the list of the most depressed people on the. Who's the saddest people you're talking to? Because chances are they're going to be the funniest.
So we're going to wrap up quick now because we do have a snowstorm coming in old Massachusetts, and I see the skies turning gray.
Do you see how upside down we are with needing snow, though?
I see.
Oh, my God.
The sky's turning grayer. So no YouTube live this week, unfortunately. We'll be back with that the following week. It's just, mans needs to get home. I'm home and safe and sound, but you got to get home.
Yeah.
So...
Not like I'm driving far, but most of it's all hills.
It's just not. If you can avoid driving in snow, it's always the best. So
yeah, you live longer.
So thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this week's news episode. We'll be back with our round of interviews again. The holidays have come to an end. January is awfully slow this year.
I wish Tracy happy birthday. It's her birthday today.
Yes, happy birthday to Tracy. Woo, check out Simply Diplicious. SimplyDiplicious.com.
Yeah, simplydiplicious.com. That's her gig. But no, I just wanted to wish her happy birthday. Yeah. We'll be at the casino tomorrow.
Hey, you're not saying it. I'll say it, though. Getting some dips would be a great birthday present. But nonetheless, happy birthday to Tracy. We actually, in the first ever episode of Ruff Talk VR, threw in like a little mock ad as like a sponsor read.
We had none.
So I was like, fuck it, we'll do it. We should have kept doing that a bit more. But I think we stopped just in case we said dumb shit, especially because we were anonymous at that time.
Yep.
So... thank you everyone for tuning in. If you're a developer, don't forget to check out
Showcase,
the Ruff Talk VR Gaming Showcase. If you're a fan of the podcast, subscribe, rate us 5 stars. Check out YouTube. There's YouTube memberships. We got Patreon. We got Discord.
Yeah, buy me coffee.
All that fun stuff. Check out that. All those links are in our show notes, our episode description. Like I said, we'll be coming at you with some great interviews up shortly. We have some 2025 goals of actually doing some YouTube videos. I think we should hit some game reviews again too. I have some fun ideas to incorporate that back into the show as well too. So fun stuff ahead in 2025. So
for sure,
subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and stay tuned for next week. And if you can't get enough of us, we got a shit ton of old episodes, interviews, and such. And you can also talk to us in the Ruff Talk VR Discord
every day.
All right. We'll see you next week. Ciao, ciao.